Against all odds, God restored Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria back to the nation of Israel during the War of 1967. Lost to Israel for thousands of years, this region contains the lifeblood and heartbeat of the Jewish people. Yet the struggle has not been easy. Propaganda, terrorism, and international pressure have been the constant companion of the courageous men and women who have dared to call this place home. I'm Luke Hilton, and these are the stories of Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, Israel's biblical heartland, God's land. Batya, thank you for joining us here on Elon Moreh, the very spot where Abraham stood in Genesis chapter 12. Tell us that story.
Okay, so first thing is that it's unbelievable that we can actually sit in this place. I always loved the Bible. I always read from the Bible. And when I came over here, so the same old words that we said over and over again, and Abraham crossed the land into the place of Shechem until Elon Moreh. And there is the first time that God is speaking to him. God is talking to Abraham, and he shows him this land. And he says, this is your land, and I'll give it to you and to your descendants. And Abraham builds an altar because God has spoken to him. And from there, he continues on the same highway that we use today. We call it the 60 road, that's the modern name. From on top of the mountain until the east of Bethel, so down south. And he's walking back and forth. It says Abraham drove back and forth towards the Negev, towards down south. And that's the same highway today. I don't know. I think for me it's just crazy. I always imagined one thing, and then suddenly to be able to stop here and see it, I always thought, why didn't anyone tell me? My mother taught me, if you get a gift, it's very rude to give it to someone else. This is what we got. If you live over here, you start seeing miracles all the time. Our first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, said, you live in Israel, you don't have to believe in miracles, but you must rely on them. Maybe people around the world, maybe you can't feel it from far away. That's why I welcome you to come and see it with your own eyes. But over here, I see time and again, miracle after miracle. I see the eyes of God are watching the heartland all the time, and are watching the people and are giving them strength. Not to fight, to live, not to destroy, to build, and to try to bring as much blessing as possible to this world, and as much truth and peace and love at the same time. So to feel it, you have to come, if anyone wants.
Every person who believes in the Bible can and should connect to the blessing that God gave to Abraham. However, imagine the added element that it brings to your faith when you can actually come and stand in the physical location where Genesis 12 took place. Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, it's not the occupied territories, it's not even the West Bank. Rather, this is Israel's very heartland. This is God's land. To find out more about the people and places of Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, go to keepgodsland.com.